Hey everyone, welcome back to another classic episode of the Coffee and Cannoli podcast. Once again, we will be talking about wrestling, but before we do, make sure to go down into the description box below, where not only will I have Campo's information, I have all the information to my Discord server. So whenever there's a new wrestling episode, go check that out in the Discord server. And also, make sure to like, comment, subscribe on this video. It really helps us out. I've been really working hard these last few weeks making these videos for you guys, especially with the New Japan content. So a little love will be appreciated. So with that out of the way, this is just a roundtable discussion, as we teased in yesterday's episode of the New Japan Review, of just what we think the state of wrestling is right now. There are all these. There's the situation with Vince McMahon. John Laurinaitis recently got fired as well. The old guard is making its way out, and you could already see some of Triple H's influences on the company. AEW is doing some fantastic things as well. They just had Battle of the Belts last weekend. Fantastic show. I really enjoyed that. But Campo, welcome back.
Well, hello. It's been a long time since we've done one of these, a really long time.
Yep, whole 24 hours.
An actual potty, not reviewing something.
Just a discussion.
It's less of a round table because there's only two of us. I think of it as like a really long rectangular table. And if you get this reference, hold on. If you get this reference, you win. Can you pass the salt?
Can you pass the salt? I was just about to say that. Yes.
Sorry, say that again. The salt. Salt.
Yeah. Batman, Have you ever eaten in this? Have you ever eaten in this room? Actually, I don't think I've ever been here.
Oh, this is your house?
But yeah, it's more of, like you said, a long table. Basically, we're playing ping pong, just shooting things off each other, basically, and talking about the state of wrestling as it is right now.
Okay, well, I don't really have state of wrestling facts, but I think it's pretty good right now. I'm gonna have to say the last 2 weeks of AEW have been terrible.
Yeah.
Not okay. This past Dynamite and Rampage were fine. But prior to that, they were really weak. Battle of the Belts was fantastic.
Yes.
But the 2 weeks before Battle of the Belts was really bad.
Yeah. Between that ROH show and Battle of the Belts, AEW fell into a little bit of a slump.
They're getting too much into where they feel forced to tell us these behind the scenes stories that don't matter. And it feels very ruthless aggression and how dumb it is. And I don't need it. You have such good wrestlers. Just create a feud, let them have their 5 matches together, which seems to be the thing they do nowadays in all the wrestling companies, and then move on to something else.
Move on to something. Yeah, agreed.
So I have a question for you. So the trios tournament's coming up.
Yes,
it starts on Wednesday. It looks like a fantastic bracket minus the Trustbusters.
Yeah, you have Death Triangle in there. You have House of Black in there. Like it looks like it's setting up.
I think they're playing this to be. See, this is where I'm going to be confused, and I want your opinion on this.
Sure.
The question mark on the Young Bucks is that Kenny Omega.
I think so.
I
really do.
I only reason I say that is because they set up for the Adam Page storyline and then they immediately shut it down. And my first thought was Kenny Omega.
Yeah, because Adam Page says no. I'm going to support the Dark Order. Like, they've had my back through all this. I'm supporting them.
And also, I don't know if he's injured or not, but I don't get this whole storyline that's happening where Adam Page has just been like sidelined. He went from fucking champion of the company to just like he's the guy over there now. And the crowd wants him.
Yeah, they do.
So anyways, but in that tournament, I have a really strong feeling that they want to see Death Triangle face the LIJ or whatever they're called there. The
Ingornable.
Yeah. So I know they're not LIJ, but they're the other half of that group.
Yeah.
And I mean, come on. Roosh, Dragon Lee, and fucking Andrade, that's like a crazy team.
Yeah, I'll read out the brackets to you right now. You have Death Triangle. This is the opening round. Death Triangle with Penta, Ray, and Pac against United Empire, Will Ospreay, Mark Davis, and Kyle Fletcher.
Aussie Open.
Yes. Then you have the second, and the winner of that bracket goes against Los Ingobernables of Andrade, Rush, and Dragon Lee against the Bucks and the mystery opponent.
See, but so before we progress from this, like I said, I feel like the storyline people want, and it makes sense right now, is for the Ingobernables. Oh my god, I can't even speak Spanish.
To go over?
That they want them to face Death Triangle because there's a whole thing here, and Pac is that missing key that they need. Okay, because that trio is arguably the best in the world. I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah. But I don't think they're going to go over because Pac already has the belt. Yeah.
If you bring back Kenny Omega, I don't think that happens.
Yeah.
And this is another thought process I have. So AEW has been, even though they're in a great working relationship with New Japan, FTR has the titles. There's a lot of stuff going on between them. But AEW seems very reluctant to let anyone in Japan have any of their titles. And I think if you let Aussie Open and Will Ospreay win this one, it gives a good show of faith to New Japan that like someone can win, because these titles don't really matter.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think Pac, when he does lose, he might lose to somebody from New Japan. I think that All Atlantic Championship will be defended at Wrestle Kingdom. I believe it will.
I 100% think so, and I believe he will lose it. But as far as the trios go, that one side of the bracket already, I just gave you all those options. But like, it's hard for me to imagine Kenny Omega coming back and not winning the belts.
Yeah, absolutely. And in the first round at that.
And he's always wanted to win the trio belts. This whole thing is because of him.
If he wins that, he is the only champion in AEW that's won everything except the All Atlantic.
Well, he'll probably win that, knowing Kenny Omega
eventually. And then the second half of the bracket, you have the House of Black against the Dark Order in the first match, and the Trustbusters, Davari, and I don't even know who some of these guys are, against the Best Friends.
Parker Boudreaux and Little J
Slim J. Parker Boudreaux, isn't that the guy that was just released by WWE?
From WWE. Yeah. And he's very Brock Lesnar-esque.
Yeah.
Sonny Kiss has, I believe, joined the
group as well. Yes.
Which is good for Sonny Kiss, because the crowd really loves Sonny. And
they were being misused. Like, we haven't seen Sonny in so long.
And the crowd loves Sonny, number one. Yeah. And Sonny needed a place.
Yeah.
You can't just have Sonny always wrestling on Dark. You just can't, right? Because their history in AEW goes all the way back to like
Sonny was one of the original
wrestling Sonny. Yeah, like that's like, for a character of that small portion to have a match with Kenny Omega is insane.
Huge. That's the only reason why Sonny's probably still with the company.
Kenny friggin' loves Sonny.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I could see the Trustbusters going over.
I don't. So to me, so even if Trustbusters go over, which, by the way, Slim J is actually really good in the ring, but the character is just so dumb.
It's terrible,
The fact that someone made like a early 2000s white rapper character in 2022 is just dumb.
Yeah.
Especially in contrast to the other two characters, your Brock Lesnar and your Mouthpiece. Either way, to me, this whole side has to be House of Black
in the finals,
or the
Dark
Best
Order.
Friends.
No, not Dark Order.
No, Dark Order's not going to win.
No. Yeah.
Because Dark Order's not going to have Adam Page. It's going to be Uno 10 and that other guy, Alex, whatever.
Preston Vance, John Silver.
No, there's one other guy.
Yeah, there's that 10 guy.
There's 10, the big guy. Uno, who's the guy with the long hair?
That's Alex Reynolds.
Yeah, it's going to be Alex Reynolds.
Where's what's his name? Grayson.
I have no idea.
Grayson's been away for a while too.
Yeah,
Stu Grayson.
It's going to be those three.
Yeah,
because those are the three best.
Not
wrestlers
John Silver.
No,
a little Johnny Hungy.
If they use Johnny Hungy, it's going to be in replacement of Uno, because Uno's the weakest wrestler out of all those people you just named. But he's the face of the group, is why I picked him. You need to have 10 because 10 is a monster.
Yeah,
and you need to have Alex, whatever, because he's actually the best wrestler.
10 Preston Vance. Oh,
that's what his name is? Oh, I didn't even know that. Okay. That makes sense.
And they got to bring out Brody Jr. for that too.
They will. Brody Jr. has been very awkward lately. Like, I know he's a little kid, but like he wants to be part of what's happening to the point where he's going out of kayfabe to get screen time in some of those occasions. I don't know if you noticed, and it looks really stupid. Like he's like grabbing the ref, and the ref's like, "What the fuck are you doing?
Get away from me!"
Yeah, he's like, "This is not part of what we're supposed to be doing. Like, why are you doing this?"
He's not following the script, I guess. Is a way.
He just wants to have screen time, and like I don't blame him. It's a little kid, and good. I'm happy that he's there, but like, come on, we gotta. Anyways,
this kid's gonna be paid for life by this company. So.
Who do you think was gonna win this?
The whole tournament?
Yeah.
If it's Kenny Omega, it's the Young Bucks and Omega. If it's not, I could see, I don't know, someone like Ospreay or Death Triangle. Death Triangle, no, because Pac has the title.
But they're so deserving of belts.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say if it's not Kenny Omega, it's going to be Will Ospreay.
Yeah, I could see that. Totally could see that. I could totally see that.
Throw some shine on New Japan.
Yeah.
And Will Ospreay will then have 3 belts, all from 3 different companies, and he'll have the FTR factor.
Yeah, draped in gold.
And each one from a different company.
Yeah. The Rev Pro, he's the US champ, and
he's Rev Pro champion for like 900 days. I just want to put that out there.
Yeah.
But
I'm looking forward to this tournament. It's about time that they announced it. I think though this may be getting to the point where it's too many belts.
I disagree. I know Caps really feels strongly about too many belts. This is my thing. You got the trios, you have the tag team, you have All Atlantic, you have TBS, TNT, Women's Championship, the heavyweight championship,
now the women's tag too, isn't it?
And get the women's tag in there. And at this point, I think, and you have the FTW, I guess. Because they can still. The wrestlers can still fight for it, but it won't be sanctioned matches.
Yeah, it won't be a sanctioned match.
But
you're right, though. It's very WCW-esque where you had your top of the card talent. Right now, it's Moxley as the champ. We had CM Punk actually return on this week's Dynamite, and they had a face-to-face. So Moxley is like your top champ right now. Then you have the mid-card belt, which is the All-Atlantic, which was very much
and the TNT is basically
which is
that
the
as well.
TNT belt is like the way the TV title used to be.
Yeah, so when you really look at this in comparison, WWE has more belts.
Yeah, they're all on 3 people
between 2 shows. But realistically, it's the same thing. What we need to balance out the belts is just make Rampage 2 hours.
Yeah,
to me that's what I think you need, because
I think they're going to.
Tony Khan really just doesn't like Rampage, and I don't understand it, because some weeks Rampage is epic, and then some weeks it's just dark. And I don't understand it. And then sometimes dark is better than Rampage.
Yeah. Like, this is what they could have made that episode of Rampage a few weeks ago. They could have done the Battle of the Belts there, because there really was no storyline to tell on Rampage that week.
But okay, let's just talk about that before I want to talk about Moxley, and then I think we should talk about WWE.
Yeah.
But Battle of the Belts was fantastic.
Yes, absolutely it was. It was a really, really good show.
I think Take a Shit is...
Take a Shit.
No, Takeshita is one of the
hottest young talents out there.
He's so good. Like, I can't even describe how good he is. But the thing I don't like is
he's a young Tanahashi.
He loses.
He's a young Tanahashi.
He reminds me more of like an Okada.
Maybe a mix of the both.
He's a mix of the both. I was just gonna say that, because he has the abilities of Tanahashi, but the physical presence of Okada.
Because he's tall too.
He's really big.
Yeah,
and he's strong.
That match he had against Claudio was something else. Like, that was a fantastic.
If you've seen what happened behind the scenes, I don't know if you saw it when he was leaving, because the loser usually goes out through the bottom.
Yeah,
William Regal went over to him and called him over and shook his hand and told him that was amazing. He's like, that match was amazing.
Yeah. Could he be the first Japanese member? No, because he got Wheeler Yuta.
And he's also going to go back soon to Noah.
to Noah. Yeah. But yeah, he's had a really good showing in AEW.
I just don't like that he
even the
always
Moxley
loses.
match.
Yeah, and he should have beat Moxley. He demolished Moxley for the whole match and then just loses. And we'll get into my Moxley issue, but
the Moxley rant.
It's like,
but
he's really good. I really like him.
But I mean, that card, like for a small card for what it was, all three matches were decent matches. You had Wardlow like completely crushed Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal made Wardlow look like a star.
Jay Lethal is the most underrated wrestler. Like, I'm going to keep talking about this.
Yeah.
He is a wrestling talent that is unlike any other. He's almost Bret Hart-esque in the fact that he can play every single character and he can wrestle in any style.
He can wrestle circles around some people.
Yeah, you could put him in with anybody and he'll
and
make
his
a match.
Promo work.
Yeah,
his
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
he can be a heel like nobody's business, and then all it takes is 2 seconds for him. He'll throw that Macho Man character on, and he's a face.
And
everyone loves him.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Jay White is,
he's ripped as hell, man.
He's a rare talent. That guy,
really is, and he can
make anybody look good in a match.
Absolutely,
anybody.
Like we said, there's a reason Ric Flair picked him.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that match was really good. What was the next match?
Rosa versus Jamie Hayter.
And dude, this was like a coming out party for Jamie Hayter.
Yeah.
Finally, we get to see her do something because she's been on my list. Everyone knows
Jamie Hayter. Yeah,
I think she's one of the most talented female wrestlers that exists right now.
And I think this could lead to finally her splitting from Britt Baker, and we can have a Jamie Hayter versus Britt match.
I think they should. I don't agree with that. I think my biggest issue with AEW and their storytelling right now is
they break them up too quickly.
Split.
I'm talking about long-term booking, though.
Yes,
long-term.
I agree.
It's going to build and build.
They're going to win the tag. They're going to win the women's tag belts first.
Yeah,
and then it's going to lead to a bloody feud between them and Toni Storm, and
that's what's going to happen. The finals, I can already tell you, the finals. It's going to be Thunderstorm against Hayter and Britt Baker,
and it's going to be like in a Falls Anywhere match or something like that, or a tornado tag. It's going to be something crazy with lots of tables and like some epic shit. But I'm so worried right now because they keep shoving the Thunder Rosa, Toni Storm being number one contender thing down our throat.
Yeah.
Which is like, don't break them up. That's all I keep thinking in my head. Did you just do this to sell t-shirts for 3 weeks and now you're going to end it? Like, come on.
If they do fight again, Storm is going over Thunder Rosa.
I think so too. I think it's time for Thunder Rosa to lose now. But you have, in this situation, you have potential with Thunder Rosa and Toni Storm to have FTR level of forever their entire career. They're a tag team. They can still do their solo thing, but whenever there's a tag team thing, it's like there's no real go-to women's tag team. When you think about it, who do you think of? There's like nobody except maybe the Iconics when they were.
Yeah. But they're retired now.
Exactly.
Well, one's pregnant.
Yeah. I mean, but and by the way, so before we move on, that new girl that was partners with Tennille Dashwood from Impact, and now she's like the coach. And what's her name?
Oh, I can't remember. She recently made a comeback, right?
Yeah, and she's challenging for the TBS title, bro. She's so trash.
Oh my God.
She's so trash. I was like, what? You let this girl just walk into the company and she's getting shots at titles? And she's such a soft wrestler. Like, you know how I complain about those wrestlers that don't
this is gonna be a squash match for sure.
Jade already is like But it's just in my head, it's like you go through all this number one contender things, and I know I complain about this all the time. And then you just let this girl walk in and she's getting shots at titles.
Yeah, it's like the rankings. They have the rankings, you know, this person's number one contender, but we're going to give this guy who won a random battle royal on a pre-show in Ring of Honor the number one contender.
You want my take on this? Let Jamie Hayter fight Jade Cargill, have Britt interfere so she cheats. It doesn't fuck up the crowd's perception of Jade, but she takes that first loss and we move the title on. Because it's getting stale. I'm tired of the character. It just doesn't work.
I honestly think it's going to be, but honestly think it's going to be Athena. I think it's going to be Athena.
Okay, I'll take Athena too, though, because Athena is in that category of like Jamie Hayter, where they have enough going on where you can vouch for this situation, and
some of the challengers will be a little bit more
believable. But I'm really interested in what's his face is doing. What's their Stokely Hathaway?
Oh, Stokely Hathaway. Yeah,
he's trying to get the Gun Club. He's looking like he's about to build a really big faction.
Yeah, really big stable.
And I like that. I think they need a Bullet Club-esque thing now because it's no longer the Dark Order, that they don't exist anymore.
No, they're kind of like
they're just a fan thing now.
Yeah, they become I don't want to say a joke, but they become pretty much a joke.
No, they're not a joke in the sense that they can't wrestle or anything, but they're just there because they're so over with the fans.
True.
They no longer, the entity of them means nothing.
Yeah.
Like they're not doing anything.
The whole join the Dark Order thing. Like,
but the trios tournament allows for them to be relevant, kind of, I guess.
Madison Rain.
There you go.
Yeah.
She's not even.
But she's now Madison Rain is now in charge of the women's division, I think. In AEW,
and she was the tag team champion with Tenille Dashwood, and they just lost the belts. Not King of the Castle. What the hell am I talking about? That's Slammiversary.
Yeah.
But so can I just
rant on Jon Moxley? I know you've been itching to.
I just want to get it out of the way. I can't stand it. I don't actually dislike him as much as I make it seem like I do, but it's like if I don't push all the way, people don't understand what I mean. He's not that good of a wrestler in the ring.
No.
He's very minimal in his abilities. He's a brawler. Do I want to see him fight big guys and in Haas matches? Yes. Do I want to see him
like
fight
a Moxley versus Archer?
Yes. I want to see hardcore. I want to see him in group matches where they fight all over the ring. All over the arena. That's what I want to see. I don't want him having titles unless they're low-tier titles. He's not. There's a reason that New Japan only let him get the US title because he doesn't belong in that category with Tanahashi. I'm sorry, I know they had the match, but give me a break.
Yeah.
Takeshita demolished him. Okay, and this is a trend that we're seeing now with the Chris Jericho match. Moxley's a great seller in a Ric Flair-esque way, I'll admit it.
Yeah.
He's going to blade himself every friggin' match.
Yeah.
And congratulations, he bleeds a lot, and I like it. But it's like he gets beat up for 19 minutes of a 20-minute match and then just comes back in 1 minute and wins.
And does a paradigm shift, and that's it.
I'm so friggin' tired of it. His moveset is so basic. There's no way you beat Chris Jericho last week.
Yeah.
There's no Chris Jericho literally broke your legs to the point where you wouldn't even have been able to win stand up.
Yeah. It was pretty, but
and then
I know Moxley. I'm not the biggest Mox fan either. I never was. I always thought Rollins was the best of the three in the Shield.
100%.
Yeah, but he's a talker, and I don't like his the pacing back.
So
and
remember,
forth.
and it's funny, man. I did the impression the other day.
Yeah.
It's like he never makes eye contact with the camera. So you think you can want to fight against me?
Yeah.
And his character is, I'm okay with it, but it's goofy as hell. It doesn't come off badass.
He's not world champion material.
You know what it reminds me of, and this is not trying to poke fun at people. People who have never done anything bad in their life, and wrestling is their outlet of violence, I guess.
Yeah.
Think that this is what a tough guy is. No, Jon Moxley's character on the streets would get the shit kicked out of him.
Oh yeah,
he's a friggin' loser. I'm sorry, and I don't even hate the character. I just don't like how they try to portray him as this super badass
superstar.
Stone Cold was badass.
Yeah,
Jon Moxley is not.
No, I agree.
And I'm getting so tired of the entrance. I cannot stand the song anymore. Every time it comes on, I fast forward. I do not want to hear the stupid song.
All right. End of rant.
Rant over. But I think it's time to move the title on.
Yeah. Back to Punk.
I really thought Jericho was going to win.
Yeah, I did so too. I would have loved to see a Jericho Punk match again.
And there's nothing I want less because we already know I don't even like CM Punk. I do think CM Punk is a far better wrestler than Moxley. But I hate his character, CM Punk.
All right.
Punk versus Moxley. I don't want to fucking see that.
I'm not interested in that either. Anyway. So yeah, with that out of the way now, Moxley rant done. Like you said, I don't want to see Punk versus Moxley either. Punk versus Jericho would have been much better. But see who's the next opponent for Punk though.
Bryan Danielson?
You think that'll happen?
Not anymore after the beating he took from Garcia. And now that they've built this whole feud between them, I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
Adam Page should get another shot at the title. He was a glorious champion. Takeshita, Claudio.
Yeah.
Claudio.
You know what? I could see Claudio double belting it.
I really think Claudio should double belt, if you want my honest opinion.
Yeah. It's either that or if Kenny doesn't win the trios, it's going to be Kenny.
Oh, for sure. They okay. Like my feelings of Jon Moxley's abilities aside, I do think CM Punk can wrestle.
Yeah.
Okay. But I think he's just where he is right now because he's so protected by Tony Khan.
Yeah.
But if he loses this is my thing. So the awkward scenario they have now in AEW is there's not really a lot of big number one guys at this point, especially with all the injuries that keep happening.
Well, Cody going back to WWE, Kenny Omega hurt. Really, who do you have?
You basically have Adam Page because Adam Cole's been out.
Yeah.
Like I mean, Adam Cole versus CM Punk would be good.
I wouldn't mind that either.
I would take that.
I'd totally take that. That would be actually really good. Do you think? No, I don't think Adam Cole will be the third mystery partner, will he? I'm surprised Red Dragon's not in this. Is he still hurt?
No, they turned on them.
Oh, right. Yeah. No, but I'm surprised, like with Cole and Red Dragon, I'm surprised they're not in the tournament.
Yeah.
Cole is still hurt.
Kyle is.
Kyle is
injured too. They're both hurt.
Okay. For once, it's Bobby Fish, the one that's healthy. Usually, he's the one always getting hurt.
I know. Bobby Fish had a really good match in recently. I can't remember who he fought. Bobby Fish, Red Dragon is great.
Yeah. That's another team. That's a team we missed off of our tag team list.
So now they were my honorable mention.
Yeah.
With not Jungle Express, Jurassic Express being the way that they are currently, with FTR kind of just fucked off in this situation. There's not really any tag teams to go against Keith Lee and Swerve. And if you want me to be honest with you, as good as they are, they don't look like title
champions.
Guys.
Yeah.
Like the last couple of matches they had weren't very good.
Yeah. I could see Keith Lee with a mid-card title, like a All Atlantic or a TBS championship. Give me Keith Lee versus Wardlow. I'll take that.
Yeah. Wardlow needs someone also to oppose him.
Yeah.
Because this whole thing right now is not going to happen because they're not going to give Great Khali the title.
Oh, Great Khali there. Satnam Singh.
Why did I say Great Khali? What the fuck? Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, they're not going to give him the title, and Jay Lethal's not going to beat Wardlow.
No, absolutely not. He already didn't.
Yeah, they're just saving up Jay Lethal right now until weekly TV starts again on Ring of Honor, and he's going to be gone.
And he's their centerpiece.
Yeah,
I could see once weekly TV starts back up again, I see Jay Lethal beating Claudio as a face and
what a match.
Bringing the title back to ROH.
And that's how they're going to use it as I'm the real Ring of Honor.
I'm going to bring the title back home where it's supposed to be at Ring of Honor. And yeah. Yeah. And he's going to do his whole Ric Flair impersonation. He's going to do the much. He's going to bring out all the impressions. So it'll make Jay babyface again. And I'll take that. I'll take that.
I'm happy. You can have as many belts as you want because to me, it makes it more interesting when there's something on the line.
Yeah.
And especially in those, you're having a rampage with no good matches. Okay.
At least it's something.
Put the women's tag belts on the line. Put the All Atlantic belt on the line.
At least there's some stakes to a show.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think you have much to talk about anywhere else. Impact is impacting. Ring of Honor is Ring of Honoring. New Japan is on fire right now.
Yeah, the G1 tournament has been on fire, insane, so good. Especially these last few nights, that like the last couple, we've gotten some fantastic matches. We've gotten Finley versus Ospreay. Again, I call him Ospreay. Finley versus Ospreay. We've got Tanahashi versus Goto. We've got Naito versus Kenta. Like, we've had some banger matches.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, you can watch our reviews for that.
Yes.
So, I mean, all that we have left to talk about is WWE.
And they're going in the right direction. They brought back a few names that Triple H wanted back. It started back at SummerSlam by bringing back Dakota Kai. I know he's always been big on Dakota.
Heavily rumored that Sasha Banks and Naomi
will be coming back. Yeah,
Bray Wyatt is supposed to be coming back. Johnny Gargano is supposed to be coming back. They're gonna shrink Raw down back to the 2 hours.
Yeah.
There's gonna be more emphasis on rebuilding SmackDown to be back to its former glory.
And there's another name in the picture for the World Championship because they had no names, and now you got Carrion Cross in there.
Yeah, and they're also going to be doing a draft apparently coming up
to split the brands again.
Yeah, which they need to balance it out because Raw is very front loaded.
Yes. Yeah,
I think maybe so. It's time for a few NXT people to get roster call ups. I think it's maybe some time for some new blood in NXT.
Well, with the women's tag team tournament, they did call. I don't know if it is an official call up, but they called up Zoe Stark and Natasha Lyons.
And Natasha Lyons is there for sex appeal. Can she wrestle? Yes, but they've basically only used her as a sex piece this far. Like, it's
agreed.
But Vince McMahon was very poorly running NXT.
Yeah. They've gotten rid of two of the bad apples in the bunch in John Laurinaitis and Vince McMahon. They got to get rid of Kevin Dunn soon.
I mean, at this point, though, with just him, his power is very low.
Yeah.
Now that Stephanie and Triple H have the power together, no one is going to stop what they're doing.
It's Nick Khan part of that too. No relation to Tony Khan, but
I know that's funny too, right? But
Khan versus Khan,
and I think that
they're in the right direction.
It could change.
They brought back Hit Row too. Like, I really enjoyed Hit Row when they were in NXT.
There's going to be a lot of weird moves happening right now that could be good.
Yeah. The only thing is with Hit Row, they may bring back because they can't bring back Swerve because he's now AEW champion because he was part of Hit Row as well. But there's talk about bringing up Carmelo Hayes from NXT to be part of Hit Row as well.
Hey man, like I said, I think they're going to fill out a lot of the roster because both rosters are top heavy.
Yeah.
But Raw was like stacked top heavy. There's no one really on the back end of SmackDown or Raw for any of the mid card stuff.
Yeah. You know what I would like to see? I would like to see Ciampa gets drafted to SmackDown. Johnny Gargano returns. They beat the Usos for the SmackDown tag belts. Reunite DIY.
You got to do something because apparently now they're not going to split Street Profits. Is what I heard.
Triple H never wanted to split them to begin with.
And it's smart. Like,
you don't have any tag teams already. So, like, the fact that, like...
that's one of the number one things he wants to focus on is revitalizing the tag division. Yeah. Smart.
Yes.
Look at the tag divisions in all the other companies in the world. They're amazing.
Booming. Yeah. Just put FDR on the card and...
You literally could just pick any card in the whole world and put FTR versus the Briscoes and you have a 5-star match.
5-star match. Yeah, absolutely. I could see Gargano and Ciampa reuniting for that.
Mother effort, crossover with AEW. Yeah, just do it.
Just do it. I wouldn't hey, Trips and Regal are good friends. You know how much
money they will make? Whoa.
You want to talk about a forbidden door?
Yeah, that's the door you open, buddy. Or you have a 4-way thing.
All four companies.
New Japan, WWE, AEW with Ring of Honor, and then Impact.
Now, do you think the crowd in WWE, like, say, for example, an Okada shows up on Monday Night Raw?
Yes.
Would the crowd be smart enough for that?
I think the super fans of WWE are the outlier.
Casual, yeah,
They're the people that they refuse to know anything about anything except WWE.
yeah,
The regular everyday viewers of WWE are the same people watching AEW.
yeah. The true, like, not, I don't want to say true wrestling fans, but
The people,
hardcore.
yeah,
Yeah,
the real rest, not hardcore WWE fans. Those people do not care about anything
yeah.
else. They're
And
the
the
problem.
fans that'll just consume anything that's out there. Give me Ring
Yeah,
of Honor, give me New Japan, someone like us. Like, we'll just take anything at this point.
like I don't think it's really hard to describe. Like
Yeah.
just coming
Some
back
people
to
may
this
want to call them
experiencing.
smart marks, but
Yeah, but you're watching AEW and
yeah,
something's happening, no one knows what's happening, then you hear that coin sound. I literally fucking screamed.
yeah,
And
with the
Putty's
Rainmaker drop.
like, what
Yeah.
happened? What happened? I'm like, oh, it's
It's
Okada, it's
Okada.
Okada. And he started freaking out. Putty doesn't even really watch New Japan.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. Regardless, I
Yeah.
just think there's money there to be made. I think
Yeah.
WWE is definitely going in the right direction.
Yeah.
I don't think Castle at the Clash skills, Cat skills,
Fireball Island.
Castle. I don't think this is going to be the one. I think Survivor Series is going to be the full on show that's going to like rock us all, and we're going to be like, holy crap, what just happened?
Yeah.
I really, truly believe that Survivor Series is going to be epic.
I think the main Survivor Series match is going to be Vince's guys, like someone like Theory, someone like Roman Reigns. Like, I don't want to put them together, but like it's like the old guard versus Trips's guys that he wants to see. You know what I mean? Like a Nakamura, like a
I mean,
on
you
one.
could play if you want to play this real smart. You build a fake. Obviously, it's all fake. You build a faction of like a splintered off faction that's upset that Vince is gone. You
Yeah,
put Theory there, you put Brock Lesnar there, whoever you want, and you make the other team with Bobby Lashley and like the
Shinsuke
people that are going against
Nakamura.
them. And then you throw a wild card in there and you put Logan Paul on one of the teams and or something like that. You know what I mean?
Sami
And
Zayn or something.
yeah, and then you well, he's injured for a long time
Yeah.
apparently. But
Or Kevin Owens.
yeah, I think you need to have a traditional Survivor Series, like
Yeah.
a real
The 5-on-5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And the
mean,
winner gets like not bragging rights, but gets full control of the company or something like that.
I know going into next year, shit's about to change in WWE.
Yeah.
Royal Rumble is going to be crazy. I promise you, there's going to be entrants from all over the world.
Royal Rumble, we're going to get a lot of returns, I think, in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And
I don't be surprised if one of the Japanese companies has wrestlers show up. I'm going to be honest. I'm sure all Japan or Noah would love to get some of that money.
yeah, I could see that happening. I could totally see that happening. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting. What I'm glad with Triple H too is the part-timers. They're going to try to not get rid of the part-timers and say, like, for someone like Roman Reigns, okay, you're on a lighter schedule. You're not our champion anymore then. Plain and simple. If you're not here to defend it within 30 days, you relinquish the belt.
Yeah. I'm not going to be the guy here who's going to ask for someone's career to be taken away from them.
No, but you also
I feel
don't.
Like
you can't hold the belts hostage.
He needs to lose both titles, and he needs to lose them to two different people.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to
get back good?
Roman Reigns.
This is what I would like. You have Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns versus Carrion Cross in a 3-way match. They both Cross gets Roman Reigns in a submission hold while Drew pins him. They both win.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty possible,
right? So Roman taps out to Carrion, but he also has his things on the mat, so he gets pinned as well. So it's like 2 losses.
So as a stipulation, they're like, here, 1 belt each.
Yeah. You choose, Carrion Cross goes to SmackDown
is Carrion Cross really a title guy though?
I could see Carrion Cross as a title guy.
I mean, he's not a bad wrestler or anything, but
like he was like watch some of his stuff as champion in NXT or stuff as champion as Impact champion. He was really, really good.
Okay. Yeah. It's just I feel like maybe it's too fresh for him.
Yeah.
I
But
think
I would like to
Seth
see the
Rollins
belt
hasn't
back
had
on
a
Drew.
title, hasn't held any title, and I don't remember what the number was, but it's a
Who's this? Sorry.
ridiculous. It's Seth Rollins hasn't
Oh,
had any title in like 800 days.
yeah. Yeah.
I think he needs a title. He's a really
Yeah.
good wrestler.
He is. And Triple H loves him. He's Triple H.
I really hope he gets a shot here.
Yeah. I hope so too. Triple H is maybe like there's so many ways to go about this. There are so many ways. I could see, like I said, Clash at the Castle. I could see Drew winning, but only one of the belts.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because we talked about like too many belts earlier, and like I said, I know how Caps feels about that,
But
but
there's too many belts, but they're all on three people. Like for
yeah,
example, like
but
the Usos.
WWE just needs to do it smarter. Maybe they get a trios belt that goes between both companies that only gets defended at pay-per-views or something, right?
Yeah,
And it's like because if you look at the rest of the world, every other company has a trios belt. It's only AEW and WWE that don't have a trios belt.
but the problem is you don't even have a tag division. So how are you going to have a trios belt?
I agree with that, but it
But
makes
now
it
they're
so
starting to build it. They brought back Hit Row. They have the Viking Raiders. They have New Day. You have the
you
Street Profits. Like you're starting to build. You got to build
they're
that division
building
back up.
factions, which is
Yeah,
like that. I got asked this question recently by someone. They were like, "Don't you think that AEW has too many factions?" And I'm like, "No, because if you manage them properly, it makes everyone have level playing ground because you don't have that just Stone Cold that has to fight the whole corporation anymore. Now there's Stone Cold, The Rock, and Mankind are a team, so they
yeah.
can have each other's backs, and
Against
it makes
Triple
it
H
yeah,
and like the
it's like
Undertaker or
it's
something.
like the NWO, right? It was like they were like unbeatable, and WCW's big screw up was they never let the Four Horsemen or a
Beat
group
them.
like that get powerful enough to combat that, which that
Yeah.
would have made it so much more
See,
interesting.
you think the Horsemen were only four. Well, now we're expanding our stable. Literally perfect. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And you can have like we're
just
just the
call them the
Horsemen,
Horsemen. Yeah, wow, that was hard. Um,
right?
it's like Bullet
And the
Club.
thing is, too many people from the Horsemen defected to the
Yes,
NWO.
look at New Japan, Chaos, Lij,
Bullet
Bullet
Club.
Club are the main ones. There's
Then you
lots
have
of other
House of
ones.
Torture. You
House of
have
Torture. You have the United Empire, which is
Fire.
like in beast mode right now. Between all the guys they have now that Aaron Hanari has like stepped up, they
Yeah,
are insane. And it's like it makes it so there's a level playing field. Yes, Bullet Club will still come dominate you with numbers,
yeah.
but you
You
have
have your top guy, you have your
yeah,
tag guys, you have your mid card guys, you
exactly.
have a little bit
And
of
I think
everything.
that makes sense because you just if you have a lot of factions that work and you don't split them up and
Yeah,
you put them up against other factions, now you have a reason to have tag belts and trios belts and all these mid-card belts because
yeah,
now maybe one day you let one random group get
yeah,
all the belts and you
yeah.
let them hold it for like a
For a
month and
month.
then you take everything off them.
Well, it would have been like if they brought up Solo Sokoa from NXT to join the Bloodline. This way, they could have had all the belts for a little bit, and then Solo loses back to Gunter or something like that next month.
Exactly. Or like what the JES is doing now that they have they have those girls too because now
Yeah,
this is come on, remember, like this is where our talk about women's tag. As soon as I saw that, even before the Thunder Rosa thing,
Anna
I knew
Jay
it.
and Tay Conti are going to be a tag.
They were one of the stronger tag teams for the female division that they had, and splitting them up was so stupid because Ty's career immediately went in the dumper as soon
Yeah,
as that happened. And
but
Anna
now
Jay
they're
skyrocketed in popularity.
and they're taking a break from the whole Anna Jay Sammy Guevara. Yes, they're still together, but it's not as in your face as it
It
was.
isn't. And now they've set up the rivalry between Sky Blue and Dante Martin, who
Mm-hmm.
are actually dating in real
Dating.
life.
Yeah,
And that kind of works. So they're both young couples, and it's like, okay, that makes sense to me. And then you have the Anna J angle now. I just don't like she was such a fucking good baby face.
yeah,
This character is such bad acting. It's kind of
yeah.
throwing me off. I'll choke you. I'll choke you.
Chuck
It's
you.
like you turned her into a comedy act.
Yeah.
But the whole JAS is basically a comedy act.
Yeah,
And
it is.
Chris Jericho is better than that.
Yeah. But this is already the second faction that he's formed in AEW, and it's taken off.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to see that Andrade taking over for Matt
The Hardy.
Hardy
Yep.
and
Now,
keeping those guys together.
Because now you have Les Ingobernables in there. We also missed the Blackpool Combat Club, which is also another faction.
Oh, that Blackpool Combat Club, I'm telling you, is gonna take a heel turn soon. Maybe not immediately, but it's happening soon. You could tell because the way that they keep rushing the ring with everyone, it's going to turn into a point where they're just unstoppable and they're crushing everybody.
And maybe that's where Jake becomes babyface and takes the ROH title back to ROH.
Because they're going to grow. And so is Stokely Hathaway his crew is about to grow.
Yeah.
I think this is what I think. Okay. You take this or leave this.
Sure.
I think Stokely set up all these people he's gathering are all going to go to Ring of Honor. They're going to take the belt off Jade and they're going to move all of those people to Ring of Honor.
Okay.
As like a huge faction in Ring of Honor and giving them star power.
faction.
Yes, because then you kind of have
because Stokely is an ROH guy.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. And the Ass Boys are good enough to be put on good matches, but they're not over in AEW. People hate them in AEW. Maybe putting them in Ring of Honor
gives boys them against the Briscoes, maybe.
See, and you create a tag team out of it. And Billy Gunn has pull. Maybe you put Billy Gunn with the Acclaimed, and you move them over to Ring of Honor too.
Yeah, Private Party.
That's what I'm saying. Like you have a good setup here to use all these wrestlers you've gathered now that aren't getting screen time.
Yeah. But that only time will tell on that one. Anything else you got to add?
One last thing.
Yeah.
I'm really happy what they did with Hook, and I'm really upset with what they're doing with Danhausen. Yeah. They're making him look like a fool, and I get it. He's just happy how much money he's making now. Yeah. But like, dude is a good wrestler. This needs to stop.
I saw this quick little documentary on him and how he developed the character of Danhausen, and like, you watch some of his early matches, he already showed some of that talent. Like, he is a really good wrestler, and he's not allowed to showcase that. And he's stuck in this comedy gimmick. Like, he needs to go, like, I want to see Danhausen go heel and go full on like a demon type of thing, like a split personality, kind of like what Finn Balor would do.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. Like, how like the opposite of what Mankind did, where Mankind was like a evil, like unbeatable guy, and then he became like a face.
Dude love.
Yeah, but like go opposite with it. Make him, he's already like so popular, just make him into like this super evil character now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I really like what they did.
Very nice, but very evil.
Yes. Now and then he'll be very evil and no longer nice.
Right. But yeah, no, the whole Hook thing, like it needed to be done. They're really pushing Hook to be, and obviously Taz has some pull with that. One, it's his son, and two, it's his belt. But
yeah, but I think we're slowly going to see the FTW belt become more relevant, especially because of Hook. Like they separated Starks, and I kind of like that. I don't like that they broke up Hobbs and Stark because I thought they were a great tag team. But Starks kind of is turning face, and it's giving the Factory a reason to exist.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because Cody's gone. So
Cody's gone, yeah. But you have, was it Aaron Solo and Nick Camarocho there? And
yeah, they're not a bad team, but they're just, what's his name? The guy in charge is a
Marshall.
He's a friggin' joke. He's not a bad wrestler, but the character is so garbage.
Yeah.
They remind me of the JAS when they're on the mic.
Yeah, they are pretty bad that way. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I think things like this is the hottest I've seen wrestling in a long time. A lot of people are getting back into it with WWE going in a good direction. Like you said, like we said on a podcast we did probably about a year ago when we first started talking about AEW, competition is good. And clearly it's showing. Like, yes, circumstances behind this competition now, like Vince at the time didn't want to, he completely ignored Impact. He completely ignored AEW because they're not competition to him. And the ratings were starting to show it. And yes, what Vince did was absolutely stupid. And nobody's condoning what he did. But in a way, it's good that it happened because now Triple H and Stephanie and Nick Khan can take the company in the right direction and create that right type of competition.
Why would we be upset by getting more good wrestling?
Yeah.
Like I grew up on WWE. That was my shit.
It brought you back after 12, 13 years or whatever it was.
I'm not sitting here saying I despise everything about. I'm not a WWE fan. I'll admit that, but I'm not going to pretend like they don't have good wrestlers and don't put on good matches. Yeah. I just don't want to watch the week to week.
Yeah, the week to week is weak.
Yeah, but should it turn around? I mean, all you're offering me is more good wrestling.
They gave us Nakamura versus Gunter on Friday.
Well, there you go. They've been on a roll, man. They've been on an absolute roll.
That match was so good. So good. Which brings me around. I guess they're not going to do the match at Clash.
That's true.
Unless they're going to do it again. But
maybe they will.
Yeah. And maybe that's where Nakamura goes over. But
he needs to go over.
Yeah. Nakamura needs a belt and he really needs to shine.
I feel like he is a very good wrestler and a lot of people recognize that he's a very good wrestler, but I think a majority of North American fans don't realize that he's like God tier in Japan. He's
on the Tanahashi Okada level.
He's in like the conversation of like greatest New Japan wrestlers of all time.
Absolutely. And it's I like the way things are going. I like the way things are heading. And like I said, this is some of the best wrestling we've seen in a very long time. It's getting hot again. Competition does breed better matches, better booking, better.
Yeah, and it's like, listen, if Japan can have 4 big companies and they're all running. Oh no, sorry. By the way, Takeshita is from DDT.
DDT, yeah.
But you got everything going. And no one's really losing right now. They're all having great matches in all these divisions. Yeah. Why can't we have Impact? Why can't we have
DDT's like DDT would be comparable to the Impact at the bottom of the thing. Similar to that is All Japan with Ring of Honor.
All Japan is like Ring of Honor. Noah's like their AEW, and New Japan is like the WWE.
Is the WWE, yeah. In terms of like size and like popularity wise.
Well, All Japan originally was
the WWE, biggest one, yeah.
And then in the 90s they just tanked.
Yeah, they almost.
But in the bankrupt. 90s, that's when you got all the Masahiro Chonos and
that started Bullet Club. That Bullet Club was based off of that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of good wrestlers. That early to like late, the whole 90s for New Japan was the taking over.
Yeah, you had Muda having some of the greatest matches of his career. Like you had Sonny, Ultimo Dragon. You had like,
wasn't Sonny Chiba?
Sonny Chiba. You had Antonio.
You had Jushin Liger.
Yeah.
They had a really big roster, and that's when those third generation or second generation wrestlers all came. It was Tenzan. Oh my God, what the hell's the other 2 guys' names? They were called the Three Musketeers. It was Chono, Tenzan, and
not Inoki, was it? No,
frig. What the hell's his name? You can make me look this up.
Here we go.
We're just putting this whole video on pause right now.
Yep.
This.
But I'll keep talking in the meantime. Yeah, so the competition, it's really making things interesting. It's really getting the passion back that for us fans, we can't ask for anything more than that. Just give me good matches, give me good storytelling in the ring, give me the talent, and people are going to come back and people are going to watch. We're almost at that early to late 90s, early 2000s level of its peak.
I got the names. So it was Yuji Nagata, Satoshi Kojima, and Tenzin were like, they came in at the late 90s and they took over for, which at that time was, hold on, I have the names here. Chono, Muda, and Hashimoto.
Hashimoto.
So it's like they go in threes. So those three
Yeah.
came, then the next three came, and then next was
Tanahashi.
Tanahashi. What?
Naito.
No, it was Tanahashi, the guy from WWE,
Nakamura.
and oh crap, who am I missing here?
What was some of those big three? It wasn't Nakamura. It wasn't Kushida. It wasn't
It wasn't, because then the next wave of people was like Goto, Naito, and Okada.
And Okada. Yeah.
Oh, it's right here. Shibata. Nakamura, Tanahashi, and Shibata.
Shibata. Yeah. Which all of them are still going.
Yeah.
Shibata. Where is Shibata?
Tenzan's still wrestling. So like,
oh yeah. He's doing the Japanese commentary on the G1.
Yeah, so is Makabe. That's his name, right?
Toge Makabe. Yeah.
Yeah, Makabe.
Yeah, but where, like, we saw what's his name? We saw Shibata. There you go. We saw Shibata return. Yeah,
Forbidden Door, baby. That was sick.
And we haven't seen him since. You think they're building something? Maybe it's Shibata versus Pac for the All Atlantic Championship at Wrestle Kingdom.
Let's go.
There's your opponent right there.
This is your excuse to not have Tanahashi win this block by making him start a feud with Shibata that pays off at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, I could see that because Ibushi's hurt still, right? Kota Ibushi.
Yes, Ibushi keeps getting hurt. I honestly don't think he has a lot left. Every year he gets like a season-ending
major injury. Yeah, a major injury. That's the reason why he's not in the tournament this year either.
Yeah. Well, him versus Okada in 2020 was friggin'
insane. Like if you threw in Ibushi in that Group B block with Jay White and Tama Tonga instead of Great Okan, that would have been a different.
If you think of all the junior heavyweights that are not here right now, like Takahashi and Bushi, and like there's a lot, there's so much talent that we forgot about that are just not in wrestling right now.
Yeah.
Because Putty was asking me, he's like, who's wrestling right now on their weekly shows if everyone's in the G1? And I'm like, I didn't even think of all the juniors. Like Takahashi's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, not Yujiro.
The other Takahashi.
Yeah. Hiromi
Takahashi, yeah. The one who had almost a career-ending injury when he broke his neck.
He's fantastic.
Yeah.
Is
Yoshitatsu still around too?
I think so, yeah. I'm pretty sure, because who did Takahashi match against Will Ospreay in 2020 was amazing.
Yeah.
He's won like 5 out of the last 6 years of the Junior Cup, whatever it's called.
Yeah, Best of the Super Juniors.
So
yeah.
Anyways,
that'll be the next tournament we're reviewing, kids.
I can't wait for that.
So on that note, guys, let us know what's got you excited for wrestling now, because clearly you guys are flocking here and showing the love for all the wrestling content I've been putting out. So let us know in the comments below, what are some of the dream matches maybe you're looking forward to? Who do you think is going to make their return to the WWE soon? Is it going to be Bray Wyatt? Is it going to be Johnny Gargano? Let us know in the comments below. Once again, Discord server in the description box. Campo's info will be in the description box as well. And until that, see y'all next time.